Get out of my house. The HOA. That's what she screamed, full lung power, right in my face, while I was literally hauling my own couch into my own lake cabin. Picture it. Blue sky, sun glinting off the water, and suddenly, this woman, later I'd learn her name was Crystal Stewart, but at that moment, she was just the nightmare in yoga pants, comes flying across the street, waving her arms and brandishing a camera like she's about to go viral. I should have realized, right then, that my American dream was about to go off the rails. Let me back up a sec. I'm Jacob, 32 years old, just sold my sporting goods chain for $800,000. Felt like the king of the world, you know? I'd spent a decade slinging sneakers and baseball gloves, and now I was ready for quiet. My dream was simple, a lakeside cabin at Whispering Pines Lake. Fish, relax, maybe write that terrible business book nobody would read. Just one more property, bought through my LLC for some rental income, never even visited it. I figured, what could go wrong? That Saturday, I'm directing movers, feeling like a maestro, couch by the window, TV here, fridge over there, enjoying that sweet, early retirement afterglow when she materializes. Full sprint, high-end gear, camera bouncing off her chest, eyes blazing like she just found her mortal enemy. "Excuse me," she yells. Not, "hello," not, "welcome," just pure, uncut confrontation. I'm thinking, maybe she's confused. Maybe she thinks I'm stealing the couch. So I keep it friendly, say, "Hey, I'm just moving in," like that'll help. Wrong. This woman starts snapping photos of everything. Me, my truck, the mailbox. "This is my neighborhood," she proclaims, like she's planting a flag. "I've lived here 12 years and I know exactly who belongs here and who doesn't." Then she corrects herself. "I mean, I've been the HOA president here for 12 years. And that, folks, was the first sign she was hiding something. But what really freaked me out? She knew more about my cabin than I did. The previous owners, the deck repairs, even a water heater you couldn't see from the street. Either she had a file on every home in the place, or there was something deeper, some obsession. The look she gave my cabin, that wasn't neighborly concern. That was, "I lost this, and now you have it." 20 minutes in, she whips out her phone and calls 911. "Yes, officer, there's a man here claiming to own a house he absolutely doesn't own, moving trucks and everything. Might be a scam." I'm standing there, deed in hand, getting reported for moving into my own house. The reality show music in my head was just reaching a crescendo. Officer Danny Harris shows up, and you can tell he's met her before. He says, "Ma'am, I've responded to several tenant calls from your address. What's the problem?" Tenant calls. If she owns her place, why tenant disputes? But Crystal doesn't miss a beat. Accuses me of everything from trespassing to identity theft. I show the paperwork. Harris double-checks, calls the title company, the whole 9 yards. Meanwhile, Crystal's getting more agitated, muttering about how people like him don't belong in neighborhoods like this. People like me, huh? Now we're getting honest. Finally, Harris tells her, "Ma'am, Mr. Mitchell owns this property. If you interfere with his rights, I'll have to file harassment charges." Crystal cycles through anger, denial, and this snake-like calculation. "This isn't over," she hisses, then storms off, ranting about property values. Harris leans over and says, "Install cameras, document everything." She's not done with you. You know what I mean? Next morning, 6 a.m., I hear a camera shutter outside. Crystal, still in pajamas, is in my yard, inspecting for HOA violations. And let me tell you, HOA rules are like the tax code, but written by power-tripping X-Hall monitors. In 3 days, I get 8 violation notices. Mailbox, wrong shade of black. Landscaping, excessive. Window treatments, unauthorized. This wasn't about the rules. She was inventing them. But Crystal wasn't content with paper warfare. She started warning the neighbors, door to door, about the dangerous newcomer. That's how I met Bob Fletcher, the retired teacher next door. Bob tells me, "Crystal's obsessed with your cabin. She lost it in her divorce 3 years ago. Never got over it." Suddenly, it clicks. The rage, the weird trivia about my house. This was personal. Crystal wanted her life back, and I was living it. Bob also drops a bomb. Crystal doesn't own her place. She rents it. Nobody knows who her landlord is. That's odd, right? That afternoon, I start meeting other neighbors. Turns out, Crystal's got a history. Noise complaints against newborns, flag violations for veterans, even tomato plant controversies. She wielded HOA power like a weapon. But everyone says the same thing. She has connections. Just wait till she calls her people. By Tuesday, things have escalated to pure lunacy. Crystal prints out maps highlighting my house in red, creates a timeline of my so-called suspicious activities, getting pizza delivered, for real, and shares them at neighborhood meetings. She even documents my mail arriving at unusual hours. Meanwhile, my Ring cameras are catching her measuring my grass and peeking through my windows. Wednesday, she takes it online. Posts about me pop up on every neighborhood forum, accusing me of running a gambling ring, a drug den, maybe the next Watergate, who knows. Her rants go public, not private, and people start roasting her in the comments. Crystal, you okay? Maybe lay off the HOA for a bit. The internet was not on her side. Still, by Friday, I'm exhausted. My parents are calling, my girlfriend's freaking out, and I'm genuinely thinking about selling the place. But I'm too stubborn for that. And then, Thursday, I see a property management truck at Crystal's place. Her landlord is finally visible. A guy with a clipboard, Crystal trailing him, and something clicks. Friday night, Crystal calls an emergency HOA meeting. I walk in feeling like a defendant at my own execution. Crystal set up a full murder board. Photos, charts, proof that I'm ruining the neighborhood. She reads off evidence. UPS came at 2 p.m. I talked on my phone to my lawyer about her. I watered plants while watching the street. Neighbors are nodding along. Some ask, why do you need so many security cameras unless you're hiding something? I try to defend myself, but in Crystal's narrative, every explanation is guilt. 12 people sign a petition demanding I sell my house. The rest of the night is a blur. Parents hiding their kids from me, people crossing the street to avoid me. Crystal had turned me into a pariah in under a week. That night, I almost gave up. But then something bizarre happens. The mailman accidentally delivers one of Crystal's letters to my box, a rent check made out to Northern Lakes Property Management for $2,200. That's my company, the LLC I'd set up for my rental property. Suddenly I realize Crystal Henderson, her maiden name, is my tenant. The woman tormenting me is literally paying my mortgage. I double-check with my lawyer. Yep, it's her. She's the perfect tenant. Never late, never complains, even sent a thank you card last Christmas. She's been funding her own harassment campaign against me. The irony is so thick, I nearly choke laughing. The next day, I decide to end it. I call Officer Harris, my lawyer, the property manager, and schedule a meeting with Crystal. She shows up dressed for battle, still convinced she's about to win. I lay out the paperwork. Crystal, I'm your landlord. You've been paying rent to me for 6 months. Officer Harris shows her the documents, deposits, lease, her own signature. Crystal's face melts through confusion, anger, and finally, panic. She grabs her binder of evidence and starts flinging papers like confetti, screaming about setups and conspiracies. I hand her the eviction notice. You have 30 days. Harassment of landlord, filing false reports. These are lease violations. She sputters. You can't evict me. I pay my rent. Officer Harris calmly explains her rights. The meltdown is so spectacular, neighbors are filming from their windows. Within hours, clips are viral. Landlord Karen pays rent to her own victim. The internet eats it up. Crystal becomes the meme of the week. Local businesses put up signs. Protect yourself from your tenants. Coffee shops start selling a drink called the Crystal Stewart. Overpriced, bitter, leaves a bad taste. Property values rise, no joke, because people want to live where the most famous HOA battle went down. But not everything's satisfying. Watching Crystal unravel online is almost painful. Her wild posts, frantic attempts to control the story, the world watching her flame out in real time. Even as I enjoy my victory, I start to wonder, when does justice turn into revenge? And what if I'm the next viral villain if the story spins wrong? Finale. On move-out day, I stand on my deck as Crystal loads her life into a U-Haul, glancing up at me like I'm a ghost haunting her fresh start. She's got 15 minutes of fame, but her digital footprint will last forever. The new tenants, young family, twin toddlers, laughter echoing off the lake, fit right in. Whispering Pines is friendlier than ever. Turns out, removing one bully can change a whole community. 6 months later, We're having barbecues, swapping stories, helping each other out. The HOA is run by people with actual empathy. Crystal? Word is, she's keeping her head down in some tiny town, probably avoiding the internet. And me? I'm just the guy who survived the ultimate landlord-tenant twist, who learned that sometimes the best revenge is just living your life while the world watches the bully self-destruct. So let me ask you, where's the line between standing up for yourself and going too far? Was I right to evict her? Would you have done the same? Drop your thoughts below, because if there's one thing this saga taught me, it's that every community has a Crystal, and the real drama is deciding what you'll do when it's your turn in the spotlight.